I'm inside and I saw the Twilight Zone Season 1, Episode 10, Judgment Night. It is directed by John Braun, written by Rod Serling, and if you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. This episode starts with seeing Carl Lasner, and he goes into a bar, and he's like, you know, I don't know how I even got here. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I don't even know I'm supposed to be here today. And I'm like, this is strange. So watching this episode made me feel a certain type of weird. I was like, I'm kind of confused. But, you know, it's the Twilight Zone, so I know it's going to explain everything in the end. But, like, watching this, I was like, I'm curious about this guy. Like, the way that the episode is set up, the way that he, like, talks to the guys at the bar and be like, oh, wow, I can't believe it. I'm just kind of chilling here. Oh, I don't know what I do. I won't answer any questions. Like, someone asks me, what do you do? And he just, like, does not say anything. But then, like, he has some knowledge, some ship knowledge, and it's interesting because he's like, oh, I'm gonna blurt out the ship knowledge, and then the captain calls him out on it. He's like, you seem like a guy who knows stuff about ships. And then he's like, I don't know. And so at this point, I'm like, this is weird. I don't remember thinking anything particular about this guy at this point. I wasn't like thinking maliciously about him. I think I was just like, this guy has some sort of amnesia. Like, he knows his name. And the episode, at that point, when I thought, like, oh, maybe, I don't know what's up with him, the episode explains it. Oh, there's a lady that goes up to him, and he's explaining the situation to the lady, and she's like, oh, you have some sort of amnesia? Yeah, I've experienced some deja vu. It's not deja vu. I know who I am. And he starts, like, breaking down and freaking out. And at this point, I'm like, okay, it's amnesia. Weird. Okay, you're gonna go up to the captain after talking to this lady, and then the captain be like, oh, where's your passport? He's like, I don't have my wallet. Oh, it must be in my cabin. I don't get it. And also he's like freaking out about how the engines are just like stopped at like 12:05, and he's like, oh, at 1:15, that number sticks out in my mind a lot. 1:15, that's a very significant number. 1:15, 1:15, and I'm like, you know, I get it. I've had those like things that happen in my head when it comes to like them sticking in my head. You know, this guy's like obsessed with 1:15. He's like, it keeps sticking in my head, and I'm like, I've felt that. It's relatable. It must mean something. If it sticks out in your head so much, it must mean something to you, and I get it. I just hope this guy is able to figure out what that means. I like how everything just kind of unfolds. It's all nice. It's like this guy's slowly coming to realize, oh, there's a U-bomber guy coming. There's a whole ship with a bunch of German ships coming. They're gonna get you. And he's like feeling a sense of impending doom. And I'm like, I mean, I get it. You're on a ship. And I thought it was PTSD when he started like, you guys, we're all gonna die, you guys, come on, there's a guy there, they're all gonna shoot us, and he's like running through the hallways, he's like, guys, come on, please pay attention, where is everybody, I'm like, guy, please have some chill. Ooh, my move was very dangerously close to coming out there. He also gets like mirage hallucinations, which is, I get it. He's like thinking he's talking to people, which he's thinking is warning people, and then he sees a bunch of people looking at him. He's like, why are you guys not listening to me? And then like they fade away. It's like it was a whole hallucination that I was going under. So that's why it made me think of he's suffering some sort of PTSD attack. And then like, wow, there's actually a dude. There's actually some bombers there, and they start shooting up the place, and then everyone's like, oh my goodness, wow, I can't believe it, there's some dudes shooting at us, and then he's like, oh wow, I can't believe it, oh, we're gonna be shot at, oh wow, this was actually happening, this thing actually happened, and I'm like, oh, sad. Man, this is a thing, this is an episode of a Twilight Zone where something does happen. I've seen a lot of Twilight Zone episodes where something doesn't like happen, And so I'm like expected to think that nothing's gonna happen, because that's what my original thought was when I was watching this episode. Oh, nothing's gonna happen. Something did happen, and that happened, and then the ship sinks. There's a shot to a guy reminiscing about the actions that happened when he did the shooty to shoot. He shot them down, and he's like, you know, do you think we're damned from God? Do you think that we relive this hell for eternity over and over and over again? Is that what hell is? And like, it's actually freaking Carl from German place. Freaking, I forget what it's called. It starts with an F. Freudenschneischol? Nailed it. This Carl guy is being talked to, and the Carl guy's like, oh, you believe in God? Ha ha ha, you believe in hell? Ha ha ha. And it actually shows that he's suffering. He's experienced this day many times in eternal hell because he was a Nazi German naval officer, and he now experiences this hell that he created for this innocent, not giving them a warning at all, ship, and they all died as a result. And he was like, we don't need a warning, who cares about them? They're the bad guy. And it's like not being human at all. And I really like the end part where it does show that he's a guy, he's a German soldier, and he deserves to be in hell. And I'm like, yes, this is cool. You built your own hell. That's what the monologue was. You built your own hell. You build your own hell. You know, good men only die once, but if you live in hell, you die all the time. You relive your death all the time. And I'm like, yeah, this is me watching this episode. By the end of it, I'm like, yeah, hi, go to heck guy, who cares about you, guy, go the heck guy. And I enjoyed it. I really like the camera movement and the blocking a lot. Like, it was a big combination. Like, the camera movement, it was like, it really accommodated for like the depth of field of a lot of shots. And I really liked how the actors moved within the shots and within like the camera movement well. So it was like a combination of the camera movement. You had to accommodate for the camera movement when you planned the acting blocking shots, and it worked out very well, and I really liked that. There was a lot of that in this episode. And also, I liked how this guy was freaking out. It made me happy. There was a lot of good hallway shots. I like the hallway shots. I like the shots of him running throughout the ship. And it made me think of like, oh wow, this ship's like really big. This is a really big ship. So the fact that these German dudes couldn't just have a tiny little ship and like destroy everybody is even horrendous, terrifying. There's women and children on this ship. They're terrible people. And I just like the outcome of this episode. The acting's great on everybody's part. I was very enthralled, entranced in this episode, and I definitely liked it a lot. The subject of boats, naval stuff, I liked it. I like this episode. It's not like my favorite, but like I like it. I like this episode. If you're a fan of boats, this is the episode of the Twilight Zone I would recommend to you. So I gotta give this episode like a solid, it's like a 7.9 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. YouTube really likes that. If you want to fast track a movie review, you can do that for $20 redeem. It's a patreon.com/ASERpresents. And if you'd like to help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree on the way. You can help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews. So I can go here. And until next time, mint salad sa. I'll see you later, my star croutons, big bits. You know, I'm gonna dance my way into the Twilight Zone. Here I go. Wow, I can't believe it. I'm fading away. Woo, I'm in the Twilight Zone now. Wow, I can't believe it.